Hello and welcome to today's session. And today's session is a Pilates and core session. The equipment that you're going to need is your mat, your water, and potentially an optional band. You won't necessarily need this, but you might find it helpful. So let's get started with our warm-up. So we're going to start with feet wide. Spine lengthening up to the ceiling, right arm up to your ear, lift up and over into a side reach. Rebuild, switch sides up and over. Try not to twist in the shoulders or the hips. So imagine you're a sandwich between two panes of glass and your body can only move side to side. Good, lifting up and out of both hips. Try and keep your hips in the middle of your legs. Last one. Lovely. Bring your feet back underneath your hips. We're going to roll down. So we're going to take a breath in, lengthen up as we exhale, nudge your chin towards the chest, round and roll, forwards and down. Breath in at the bottom and exhale, rebuild all the way up, bone by bone, head on top. Breath in again and exhale, sequentially roll forwards and down bone by bone. Let the pelvis roll on top of the hip bones and then restack all the way up. And again, as you roll down, keep that sense of connection in your abdominals. Relax your arms, eye line in towards your legs and restack. Let's do one more. And rebuild. Use your core all the way up. Lovely. Let's come and lie down on your mat, on your back, with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. We're going to do hip rolls. So let's bring the legs and feet together and our arms are out into a low V position. We're going to send the legs and pelvis to one side. Keep your shoulder blades down on the floor, then bring the legs back up through the center and then over to the other side you go. Keep the knees glued together and the top foot comes off the floor because the insides of the feet are glued together as well. So it's spinal rotation we're working here, particularly through that mid-back area, which is why we want to keep the shoulder blades down. Because if you lift your shoulder blades, you're basically just rolling onto one side and not really getting that rotation. One more to each side here. And to the center and over to the other side. And then up we come. So bring your arms back to the side of your body and take your feet and legs back to hip width apart and parallel. And we're going to spine curl. So from here, we're going to tuck the tail. We're going to imprint the lower spine into the mat and then we're going to pick vertebra by vertebra up off the mat until we're in our kind of bridge position here. From here, we're going to soften the chest bone and we're going to wheel or peel the spine all the way down, working through that sticky lower back and then back to neutral. And again, tuck the tailbone, imprint, peel up. So this is different from the glute bridges that we do a lot of in our strength sessions because keep going as I talk, because when we do our glute bridges, we're not articulating the spine. We're just squeezing the glutes and lifting the hips up and down. But in this exercise, it's a slight difference and we're finding that movement in each vertebrae on the way up and on the way down. So although they look very similar, there's a slightly different objective to both. Right, let's go for 3. And then we're going to go 2 more. Imprint, peel up, trying to get that flexion in that lower spine. Mine definitely needs some of that this morning. And then last one. And then we're going to roll all the way down and rest. So we're in our neutral. So we've got pubic bone, 2 prominent hip bones on the same level. Find that core engagement. Pick your right leg up into your knee fold and then your left. When we are here, we're going to toe tap. So right leg is going to tap down towards the floor. we're going to bring it back up, and then the left. So we're alternating legs each time. So what I want you to think about is that belly button drawing down towards the spine and the mat. We do not change the position of the spine from neutral as we progress and we move through this exercise. So to do that, you really need your core engaged, rib to hip connection, so the rib cage doesn't flare at the front. I also want you to think about keeping a right angle behind the knees, sending that thigh bone away from you. We're going to go for 4 and in. 3, 2, well done, last one. And hug the knees into your chest. And now you're rounding that lowest back into the mat, so you're not in neutral, and you're just having a nice little stretch and roll out. So then let's find that double knee fold again, pelvis and spine in neutral, slightly harder, single leg stretch. We're going to send one leg away, much more load because the lever is longer, and then draw back in. So alternating legs each time, really draw that belly button down towards the spine. The abdominals are doing the work, not the back. Keep breathing. Breathing out as you extend, breathing in as you come in. And again. You don't need to take the legs super low. You only take it as low as you can control your pelvis and spine against that extension away from the mat. Good. We're going to go 4 and in. 3, 2, and 1. And then hug your knees into your chest. Again, a little rock from side to side. We're going to do one more variation here. So when you're ready, back into that double knee fold and arms down by your side. And we're going to do double leg stretch. So we're going to do feet, heels together, knees apart. So we're in this frog position. We're going to send both legs away, and then we're going to bring them back in. Both legs away and bring them back in. Again, control the torso. It stays still. And you can send these legs to whatever height you want. If you want to, you can send them quite vertical towards the ceiling. That's going to be slightly easier. If you want harder, you send them away towards the floor, but make sure you don't send them so low that your back is peeling off the floor. Okay? We're going to go for 4 and in. 3 and in. 2 and in. Last one. Good job, and hug your knees into your chest. Let that lower back round and little rock from side to side. Okay, feet are down on the floor again. Legs are hip width apart and parallel. Make a little clasp with your fingers and pop them behind your head. Elbows in your peripheral vision. We're going to curl up. So take a breath in. As you exhale, nudge your chin towards the chest and curl up. Shoulder blades up, and then down we come. Exhale, inhale. Try not to pull on your head and your neck. Once your head is off the floor, think about the rib cage sliding down towards the hips to lift you up further rather than more pulling on the head and neck. And we go. Good. 3 more. 2. Last one. Good. Now we're going to do another set. You can either have your feet down, or if you want a little bit of an extra challenge, you can pick your feet up into that double knee fold position. It's up to you. Breath in, exhale, curl up and down. And again. Keep breathing. Use your hands to support the weight of your head, not to pull on the head and neck. We've got 5 more. 4. Good. 3. 2. Last one. And rest. Take your hands away And have a little rest, a little rock from side to side briefly. Okay, feet back down on the floor. We're going to do roll-ups and spine stretch forward. So I'm going to demonstrate this first without the band, which is the harder version. So legs are lengthened away in front of you and arms back towards your ears. Find that rib to hip connection, long from your fingers to your toes. Everything's active. Breath in. As you exhale, arms start to come up, chin towards the chest, and we roll all the way up. And then we reach forward towards our toes. We're scooping that tummy backwards. From here, we're going to roll all the way back down and back to our start position. Okay? Now, if you find it very difficult to come up like that, if you can do it, keep going, carry on, don't stop. If you'll find that very difficult, a band can help. You pop the band around your feet and hold it in both hands like this. From here, we roll up, we can pull on the band and it helps us come up. We can take that nice stretch forward and then we can roll back down again, okay? I don't mind which version you do. You do whichever you can do. If you can do it without the band, great. If you want to use the band, lots of my clients do, and that's absolutely fine as well. Just keep going. Rolling up and reaching forwards and scooping the tummy, rolling back down. Let's do 2 more of whichever version you're doing today. And 1 more. And rest. Turn yourself over. You're going to come and lie on your tummies. So, adjust my leggings. Lie yourself down onto your front. So we're going to do mini cobra. So you want your forehead down on the floor, legs just slightly wider than hips, and hands in your W shape with the fingertips in line with your eyes. Let yourself settle down here. Take a breath in. As you exhale, nudge your nose along the mat and lift your head and chest. Keep your elbows down. And then lengthen as you lower all the way back down. And again, exhale, lift. Inhale down. So we're focusing on the thoracic spine, which is the upper back. In almost all of us, we need to be practicing and working the extension of our upper back because we don't do it enough and we can become very rounded in our shoulders and in our upper back. So this is such an important exercise, such an important plane of movement to incorporate regularly. Good, right, 1 more like this. And rest. And then now we're going to do our prone W lift. So same movement with the head and the spine, but this time the arms are going to come with us. So take a breath in. As you exhale, lift head and chest and float your arms up. And then lower back down. And again. Good. Drawing those shoulder blades gently towards each other as you lift. Good, guys. We're going to do 3 more. And 2. Last 1. And rest. Well done. From here, you are going to push yourself back and into your rest position or your child's pose if you know that phrase better or that name better. Reaching those arms forwards. And then forward you come. We're going to come into a down dog. So we're going to send those legs back again. You can move your hands slightly further in if you want. And we're going to just draw the chest down towards the thighs and the knees. And we're going to breathe here. From here, guys, we're going to walk our hands to our feet. Bend your knees if you need to. And then roll carefully all the way up. Head on top. Come and stand in the middle of your mat, feet underneath your hips. Take a breath in. We're going to roll down. As you exhale, chin towards your chest, round and roll forwards and down. And then rebuild all the way up. Bone by bone by bone, head on top. And again, forwards and down you go. And rebuild. One more. And rebuild all the way up, bone by bone, head on top. Bring the arms up, circle them around and down. And again, up, around and down. One more. And you are all done. Thank you ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this short session and are interested in longer and more structured sessions, 3 per week, you might like to think about upgrading to the premium tier where you can access Stronger Together Studio, Pilates library, and lots more. I hope to see you there. Thanks for joining me and have a great day.